Alright, hello, and welcome to White Cat Town Mystery. A visual novel game, very interesting. Do remember do note, sorry, I haven't said it first. Do note this game is in early access. It is the demo, and it comes out the June 18th of this year, and you can play it single player. All right. Now, Town Mystery is a visual novel adventure game about an anthropomorphic cat named Lumi. Help him explore atmospheric and magical town, meet old friends again, make hard choices, and go through supernatural challenges. What you choose decides the fate of the town and Lumi himself. All right, new game. Let's do it. The train wheels whispered, mirroring the white cat's heartbeat. Lumi sat pensively with an old school album resting on his lap. Click anywhere. Okay. Oh, you can press spacebar. Okay. His fingers traced the familiar faces, each image a nostalgic melody, laughter, riddles, dances, pranks, stories, memories woven in ink. His mind wandered to the 7 long years spent in the big city, a world apart from his hometown. The city's pulse, with all its trials and tribulations, echoed in his memories. Lumi, hopeful and innocent, once had nurtured noble aspirations to bring justice to the world. A deep sense of hurt and disappointment by the harsh and saddening truths he had uncovered washed over him. He felt that now was time in return, if only for a brief moment. Coming to the school reunion was a decision made on an impulse, yet, as he was getting closer and closer to his hometown, it stirred something within, a past left behind, yet ever present. He thought of his parents again. He often pondered on them, and what it would be like for him if they were still here. The piercing sound of the train's whistle interrupted his chain of thought. He gazed down at the album within round frames, 6 faces forever frozen in the timeless embrace of black and white, looked back at him. Adrian, the black fox, his gaze was piercing and pensive through the lenses of his pretentious spectacles. Then there was Lumi, a younger, more naive version of himself. That cat right there. Beside him, the ever-vivacious squirrel. Clara, her eyes blazed with mischief. Isabella, the rabbit, looked ethereal, her undeniable beauty shining even in grayscale. Felix, the hamster, sported a cheeky grin. Excuse me. A hint of his playful nature. Ethan, the dog, his expression stilled in quiet contemplation. A silent observer of the world. I love the freaking hamster, man. They'll explore the memories of your schoolmates. Click the... Okay. Okay, well, let's go with hamster, bro. Felix's mischief grin served as evidence of his unpredictable nature. Lou remembered the school days filled with Felix's antics, which had become more and more audacious each time. But there was moments, fleeting and rare, when Felix would let his guard down, revealing that he was just desperately trying to fit in. How did Lumi feel about Felix? Shared secrets. Felix confided a secret to Lumi, something that revealed a vulnerable side of him. This act created a bond, albeit a fragile one. Alright, let's go with ourself. Staring back at him with a younger version of himself, eyes brimmed with curiosity and uncertainty. The lustrous white fur, which had not yet been worn down by traveling, appeared to glow. Let me remember the weight of those school days, the internal battles between longing to fit in and the desire to carve his own path. Who was that young cat, and how much had he really changed over the years? Okay. Work with the fox. Adrian's sharp gaze, amplified by his glasses, perpetually seemed to be analyzing the world around him. Lumi remembered many intellectual debates they had, stretching late into the night. Adrian's passion for knowledge was evident, yet sometimes accompanied by an air of aloofness. At times, when the discussion veered from the academic to the personal, Lumi felt an unfathomable depth within Adrian, a side that few got to see. Let's go with chess rivals. Yeah, that sounds fun. Lumi and Adrian were both avid chess players, often engaging in intense matches that allowed them to showcase their strategic minds. Their games were a mix of rivalry and mutual respect. Alright, let's go with the squirrel now. Black and white picture didn't fully capture Clara's bubbly personality. The fiery hue of her fur mirrored her very essence. Lumi recalled her laughter echoing down the school hallways and her daring tricks that often landed everyone in trouble. Her vibrant spirit, a bright beacon amid routine days, drew others to her like moth to a flame. Yet behind those playful eyes, Lumi sensed layers of emotion, some of which she kept shielded even from her closest friends. Let's go with Could do a friendship, unspoken feelings, annoyance. I'll do the annoyance that we could do the brief. I was going to go with brief romance, but I think the annoyance one sounds kind of fun. Lumi often found Clara's extroverted nature overwhelming and kept his distance, preferring the company of quieter companions. Alright, let's go with Dog Bro. Ethan's portrait spoke for itself. His drooping ears and pensive look were a reminder of his introverted character. Lumi recalled the moments they spent together, often finding solace in their shared silence. Each lost in their own thoughts. Ethan's reserved nature sometimes led to misunderstandings between him and those around, and those patient enough to get to know him discovered that a soul filled with depth and sensitivity. Okay, regret, casual acquaintance, protective, silent support. Let's protective. Let's do silent support. Lumi and Ethan shared many silent moments, understanding each other without needing any words. Alright, and then finally, a rabbit. There were legends going around the school about Isabella's ethereal beauty, though to Lumi she was more than just a pretty face. He was captivated by her charm, her magnetic energy and passion when she spun her stories, and the shimmer in her eyes when she talked about her dreams. Yet there was an air of mystery around her, a veil that few could ever lift. Alright, we got distant polite acquaintance, good lord. Distant admiration, unrequited feelings, annoyance. All the girls are apparently annoyance. Let's just do that. Lumi often found Isabella's demeanor shallow, growing irritated by her constant need to be the center of attention. We just made everybody annoyance. And it kind of seemed like he was already annoyed with the hamster as well. Alright. We're going with that angle. Everybody's a nuisance. The soft glow of the town's lights shimmered like fireflies, guiding Lumi back home. A gentle breeze flowing through the open window tenderly carried the familiar sense of the town. In that moment, the anticipation of returning blended with the uncertainty of the long-awaited reunion and the weight of just relived memories. As the town's lights grew brighter, a mixture of longing and trepidation took over Lumi's mind. He was on the cusp of revisiting a world he was once a part of, with all its joys, sorrows, and secrets. Oh, that's a lot of reading. As the train pulled into the station, the brakes sighed, a mechanical exhale, mirroring Lumi's own. He closed the album carefully, tucking it back into his bag, and braced himself for the journey ahead. The evening platform was empty and quiet, tinged with a sense of deja vu. As Lumi stepped off the train, the gravel crunched under his boots. The station, a relic from a forgotten era, stood stoically as if frozen in time. Lumi paused, wanting to remember every little thing. At that moment, he took a deep breath, noticing that even the air felt different. Lumi roamed the streets, surrounded by buildings that seemed to lean in as if ready to whisper everything he had missed. With each step, he could feel the anticipation growing. Finally, the winding roads led him to the cafe. So we got the fox, no rabbit. He hesitated at the entrance, inhaling deeply as if bracing himself to step into another world. Clara the squirrel was the first to spot him, her fiery eyes lit up. She stressed a little, arching her back in ways that was beckoning him to hurry up and join in with old friends. Getting close to the table, he saw that the group had significantly perked up. Clara jumped up from her seat and hugged him tightly. It seemed almost automatic, something she couldn't quite control, a move that came involuntary when you hadn't seen someone in ages. Lumi blinked in surprise at the gestures, standing still for a few seconds before mildly hugging her back. A shy smile tucked to the corner of his lips. Felix shot a quick look at Adrian, when he responded with a slight haughty chuckle. "You made it," Clara said, releasing bewildered Lumi from the embrace. Her voice was filled with energy, yet with a slight hint of strain, a departure from his memories. Felix, the hamster, quickly ran up to his old classmate, playfully tapping him on the shoulders. "Sit down, Mr. Big City Guy. We were starting to think that your private jet couldn't make it due to weather conditions." He looked around the table, gauging everyone's reaction to his witty remark. He just wants to be the center of attention. Lumi took the chair next to Clara, across from Ethan, the dog. The latter sat quietly, watching the spectacle unfold. He glanced at Lumi, silently greeting him with his usual restrained smile. More firm, more confident now. As before, it didn't take escapades of words to understand each other. A brief moment that spoke for itself. "I'm happy you came." Adrian, the fox, stood up solemnly from his seat, appearing as if he was about to make a crucial announcement. Adjusting his glasses, he began, "As one noble laureate has told me, His eyes softened, and his mouth broke into a welcoming smile. Just kidding, he said, extending his hand to Lumi. I'm just glad to see you here. Wow, Clara said, and here I thought this was going to be a speech about the importance of staying connected with old friends and his impact on our gray matter or something like that. Adrian looked at her astonished. You know, Adrian, always the life of the party, smirked Felix. The absurdity of such a statement made the group share a laugh, the ice effectively broken. Lumi now had a moment to look around. Adrian leaned back. It's like we've gone back in time, isn't it? Yep, it's like we traveled back, but with a modern twist on it, nodded Clara. With better clothes and hopefully better judgment. Better judgment, you say? Have you seen my clothes? Felix teased, looking down at his outfit, his voice upbeat but a tiny bit rehearsed. As the initial pleasantries melted away into deeper conversation, excuse me, the topic naturally drifted toward their shared memories. I'm gonna take a quick drink here. Good Lord, there's a lot of reading. I think it's the most reading I've done for a single thing. Oh, I will check the time though. We were at only really 11 minutes. Good Lord, that doesn't seem right, but it is. As the initial pleasantries melted away into a deeper conversation, the topic naturally drifted toward their shared memories. I think I already read that once. They laughed while reminiscing about their attempt to sneak into the school's bell tower, how Ethan got stuck halfway up the ladder, and how Claire rang the bell at the exact moment, making them school celebrities for a day. They reminisced about the teacher's secret nicknames and the funny situations that occurred. During classes, they shared old, silly jokes about one another and discussed their favorite moments from the prom. As the discussion about the good old days slowly died down, Lumi couldn't help but glance again at the empty chair. It was silently calling attention to itself, a poignant reminder of someone vital missing from the reunion. That's what I said when we first got here. Finally, he voiced the unspoken question that hung heavily in the air. Has anyone heard from... Too much reading. Has anyone heard from Isabella? She was supposed to be here tonight. The table grew noticeably quieter at the mention of her name. Claire's vibrant demeanor dimmed. I fear something bad's happened. Dimmed slightly and shook her head. I stopped by her place on my way here, she said. There was no sign of her. Her neighbor said she hasn't seen her for a couple of days. Her voice was tighter. Ethan looked at with a stern expression. I tried calling her earlier, he shared. No one answered. She was usually the one counting down the hours till an event like this. That's troubling, Adrian noted, adjusting his glasses. I know she was looking forward to it tonight. She wouldn't cancel without a word. Felix, who had been attentively listening, subtly tried to steer the conversation away from the darker topics. Maybe she took a longer route, he suggested lightly. Or perhaps she has some plans of a grand entrance. You guys know her. She always loved to be the center of attention. Maybe she'll come soon, expecting us to be all over her. Clara shot Felix a look that was both sharp and concerned. This isn't like that, Felix, I'm sure, she said. We're talking about our friend here. Aren't you even a little bit worried? You're right, Felix admitted. I'm sorry. We should try to reach out to her family to see if they know anything. Everyone nodded in agreement. Adrian took the initiative and proposed a plan. First thing tomorrow, I'll call her family to check in on her, and if you happen to meet her, please let me know. We need to make sure she's okay. The group let out a collective sigh of relief, comforted by Adrian's decisive action. So, Clara was the first one who decided to shift the conversation. Has anyone else noticed this odd and misty darkness lately? Is it the movie what was that movie? There was The Mist and The Fog. I was trying to make a little reference there, but failed. Anyway, don't go into the fog! Has anyone else noticed the odd misty darkness lately? Or is it just me? It's like the light is slowly getting sucked out of everything. Okay, that's creepy. Ethan's hands were tumbling slightly. I have, he confirmed. The days feel shorter than usual, and I don't think it's just because of autumn. There's something else. When my customer started mentioning it, I knew I wasn't imagining things. If I felt it as well, Adrian said. I can't quite put it into words. When I encounter something so obscure, my mind begins to imagine all sorts of possibilities. Adrian looked around the table. I think it's true for all of us. Without a clear understanding, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. Felix seemed almost amused by the topic. This enigma, this so-called mysterious darkness we speak of again, he mused. Perhaps it's merely a mass hysteria, born from a weird weather pattern, nothing more, nothing less. Clara, her face tightening in frustration, shot back. Weather doesn't explain the feeling everyone has, Felix. It's deeper than that. It's as though the very soul of the town is grieving. The group exchanged glances, feeling the tension but unable to identify its source. The growing unease in the room mirrored the darkness outside, transforming their joyful reunion into something more complex and fraught. Feeling the need to salvage the evening, Clara leaned forward. Let me remind all of you, Clara mouthed, her voice light and cheerful. That's it. It's been ages, and I could really use some updates. Turning her attention to Ethan, she inquired, "How's your clock business doing?" All eyes turned to Ethan, eager to hear his answer. He smiled, slightly surprised by the abrupt question. "Well, it's good. I find a certain peace in aligning gears and hands. It's grounding." "That's great," Lemmy responded, smiling at Ethan. His gaze was filled with pride and admiration. "I have a workspace down by the river," Ethan offered. "Come by if you ever need anything." "And Adrian, are you still writing?" Clara asked, shifting her attention to the table to the black fox. Adrian nodded, and a self-assured smile graced his lip more than ever. He straightened his posture. "I've recently published a collection of essays. I called it Horizons of Logic, Navigating Rationally in an Irrational World. And let me tell you, it sparked quite a debate. And I heard that your public lectures practically spawned a cult following. Flattered, Felix." Adrian chuckled, theatrically straightening his bow tie. "Oh yeah, my Art of Reasoning series," he clarified. "It feels good to help shape a new generation of thinkers. We could really use more smart people in the world." "Well, and I'm still in sales." Felix didn't need the invitation to speak about himself. "Our company's chemical solvents are top-notch. I'm the guy who bridges the gap between complex science and ordinary people." "So you're still the middleman then, huh?" Adrian noted. "Exactly. It's all about finding the right solutions, the right solutions for the right people. It's a high-pressure job, but that's what makes it exciting." "It sounds like you found your groove," added Clara. "You know me, always ready for a good challenge." Felix's smile was the perfect finishing touch to this particular bit, and it was evident that he was quite proud of himself. "Well, for me, working at the restaurant is all about making others happy," Clara beamed with infectious energy, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I love seeing their faces light up when they have a great time, or when the staff celebrates after a good night. I just can't get enough of it." Clara, the guardian angel of good vibes. Felix couldn't help but chuckle at her enthusiasm. With a playful glint in her eyes, she rejoined, "Hey, someone's got to keep the party going, right?" Subsequently, the group's attention naturally shifted to Lumi. They all noticed that while they shared their own stories, Lumi had remained silent about his. Adrian smoothed back his hair, adjusting his glasses and locking eyes with Lumi. "Your move, Lumi. The board's set," he challenged. There's that chess reference. Challenged, a confident smirk playing on his lips. "What's your story?" Lumi hesitated as if he was struggling to find the answer. "I spent some time at a historical archive in the city," he began, choosing his words carefully. "It was enlightening." Clara's eyes flamed with curiosity. She searched his, attempting to probe with a relentless intensity. "Did you find what you were looking for in those dusty old books?" she giggled. Lumi's eyes flickered. "You could say that. I stumbled upon things." "Vague." "You're still not giving everything away," Adrian hinted at their shared past. "Strategic and patient, just as I remember." Lumi smiled. "This has many layers. Some best left unpeeled." "No way," Felix shouted. His eyes widened. "And you haven't yet told us about it." "If I were you, I wouldn't shut up," he chuckled. "You have to give us more than that." Ethan, his eyes soft but intense, watched Lumi closely, sensing the depth of unspoken tales. "I've met someone who has shown me another side of things." Lumi paused. "Helena." "Oh, Helena," Clara teased, but she couldn't sound nearly as chiming. "And who is she?" she asked, attempting to appear casual, her voice revealing a hint of surprise. Lumi, sensing that she had clarified, "She was my mentor, someone who guided me through the hardships I faced in the city." "You always seem to get involved with the most interesting people, right?" she joked. "I mean, look at us." "Always knew you'd find your way, my friend," said Felix, glancing right into Lumi's eyes. "Good-hearted people are naturally drawn to you like attracts like." Lumi gently chuckled. "Perhaps." The group sat together, enjoying a moment of quiet camaraderie. Lost in their thoughts, they gazed at the shimmering, distant skyline, holding on to its secrets. Breaking the silence, Clara softly whispered, almost to herself, "You know, life is quite a journey, isn't it?" "Indeed," Lumi nodded, his gaze distant, "and everyone has their own path." The cafe noticeably Reuniting, and the buzzing of the evening gradually faded into a quiet night. Ethan sat still, mesmerized by the vintage clock that hung above the cafe's entrance. It was a magnificent piece of craftsmanship. Its ornate brass frame showcased intricate engravings. The gentle ticking, not tickling, ticking sound filled the air, and Ethan seemed to wake up from a dream upon noticing the clock's hands that pointed to the late hours. "Time!" he said quietly. Oh, I just kind of yelled that. He said quietly. Yeah, he yelled it out. No, we'll just go with he yelled it. "Yes," murmured Adrian, his eyes fixed on the old school album. "Time flies." "No," smiled Ethan. "Look at the clock." All right, man, that is a lot of reading. I don't play games like this that often, but man, I think this game has the most text I've read in the last 20 minutes. Good lord, I'm gonna save. Goodness. Okay, thank you. And then yeah. All right, we're gonna stop here. Goodness, White Cat Town Mystery. Very fun game. Interesting. Very interesting story though. I like this mystery we're having here. Do remember this is an early access game, so it might not be fully completed or anything, but this is the demo as well, and the game comes out June 28th, 2024. Very neat game, very cool, and thank you for watching. Really appreciate that, and I will see you next time. Peace out, peeps!